Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Traveling Clat live stream. It's a really dark and sad and depressing day here in Israel. We've had a small wave of terrorist violence here in the country. Unfortunately, these attacks have been coordinated from several jihadist factions across the Middle East and across Israel to hurt us and to bring down our spirits. And while obviously we mourn the people lost in today's horrible terrorist attack, we do have quite a bit to cover. I want to take a moment of silence here in the beginning. Before I welcome everybody to the stream, let's just take one moment of silence out of respect for so far, and hopefully the dead count stops here. The 6 people so far that have been confirmed killed. There's a few in critical condition in the hospital, including, I believe, a mother and her baby. But for the 6 people killed in today's horrible terrorist attack in Jerusalem, let's take a moment of silence, everybody, and just have a little bit of respect here in the beginning of the stream for those people. And I implore you to take a moment to, whether you're watching this, just to think about your loved one, think about the people that you love, think about the innocent Jewish people, the innocent Palestinian people, the innocent Arabs, the innocent Israelis who have been affected by all of this senseless violence since October 7th that has been plaguing this region at the behest of Arab Islamic colonialism that is hurting and damaging us all. Nobody is winning under the guise of this. So let's take a moment to think about this. All right. So, obviously, very tough news coming out of Jerusalem today. We'll be looking at some clips that hopefully YouTube doesn't ban us from watching. But so far, from what I've been able to piece together, I don't want to say it's developing, the event is over, but what had happened was 2 Palestinian terrorists broke into this one junction on the highway near Jerusalem and started opening fire on the crowd of bystanders waiting. We'll open it up here. This is coming from Twitter. You can see this is one of the heroic videos that have come out of today of an Israeli taxi driver. And notice what he does. Okay, pay attention to, I believe it's this taxi. Right here on the right. You'll hear the gunshots start in a second. You can hear the gunshots. Look at what the taxi driver does. Look, bullets flying right past him. He's standing guard like a bodyguard. Bullets flying past. Man is an absolute hero. And here you have some armed civilians, probably soldiers. Look how he protects. Look at the bullets flying. Shatters this window. And he stays guard. What a hero. Look at that. Didn't even flinch. Bullet. Look at that. Explodes right next to him. Didn't even flinch. Now, I don't know how many of you guys have ever dealt with a bullet whizzing past you. It's only happened to me once or twice in my life. Not because I served in the army or anything, but it is a terrifying sound. It's a terrifying sound. It shuts you down. It literally paralyzes you. So for him to just not flinch, not move at all, absolute hero. Can I get a bunch of clapping emojis in the chat for our unnamed taxi driver, a hero today who protected that woman's life with his body. Let's get a round of clapping emojis going here. We've got another clip here. I believe this is the Haredi man. This is an armed, ultra-Orthodox citizen of Israel who is the one who actually subdued the terrorists. Let's take a look at this clip. You can see him in the red running towards the terrorist and I believe neutralizing him in this clip. I mean, it's really black and white, and you can barely see what's going on. Oh, I guess that's the terrorist right there, neutralized by him. Let's read the Hebrew. This is Yosef Haddad posted this. Simu lev legibor Israel shel hayom. Pay attention to the Hebrew, the Israeli hero of today. This Haredi man in the time of the massacre was running against the crowd directly into the direction of the terrorist. He got to him and then was able to neutralize the terrorist. Took a danger with his life in between exchanging fire. He gets cover from the bus and goes straight towards where the massacre is happening. And then Yosef adds, how many lives you saved today. This is really the heroic face of Israel for all the Arab colonialists and pro-Palestinians who call us cowards, who call us IDF diaper babies. Come on. Where do you see acts of heroism happening in the Arab world like this? Please show me clips. These are the kinds of clips that make me proud to be an Israeli. And honestly, knowing that so many of us are now armed and these kinds of terrorist attacks, they get cold very quickly. Whether or not you believe that gun laws should be more liberal or not, I know it's a controversial topic. I'm not here to make a conversation about that, but I'm saying during this time of war, they've made it very easy for Israelis to actually get weapons, to get handguns or different guns to protect themselves. I know a lot of my friends who walk around are armed, and that makes me feel a lot more protected, especially knowing that many of these people know how to use these weapons since they served in the IDF. So very, very incredible clip. Here is another clip from Benjamin Netanyahu and Ben Gvir. Prime Minister Netanyahu, at the scene of the terrorist attack in Jerusalem, we were engaged in a pursuit. Let's take a look at the clip.
אנחנו במלחמה, במלחמה עצימה נגד הטרור בכמה חזיתות. ראשית אני רוצה לשלוח תנחומים למשפחות הנרצחים, וכמובן איחולי החלמה לפצועים. כשאני אומר שאנחנו במלחמה עצימה בכמה חזיתות, יש לנו כמובן הצלחות אדירות נגד משטרי הטרור, נגד ארגוני הטרור, אבל המלחמה נמשכת גם ברצועת עזה, שבה נחריב את החמאס. כפי שהבטחנו ונשחרר את חטופינו, כל חטופינו. ולצערנו גם בירושלים. ביהודה ושומרון פעלנו בתקיפות רבה מאוד. השב"כ וצה"ל סיכלו מאות, וגם משטרת ישראל, סיכלו מאות פיגועים השנה. אבל לצערנו לא בבוקר הזה. אנחנו עכשיו במרדף, בכיתור של הכפרים שמהם באו המרצחים, ואנחנו נשיג את כל מי שסייע באדם, כל מי ששילח אותם, ואנחנו ננקוט בצעדים קשים עוד יותר. אני רוצה לומר בצורה הכי ברורה, הרציחות הללו, הפיגועים הללו, בכל הגזרות, הם לא מרפים את ידינו. הם רק מגדילים את הנחישות שלנו, להשלים את המשימות שלקחנו על עצמנו. גם בעזה, גם ביהודה ושומרון, בכל מקום. אנחנו נלחמים בטרור, במשטר הטרור של החות'ים, באיראן שמגבה את כולם, בעזה, בלבנון, בחיזבאללה, בכל הגזרות. אנחנו לא מרפים וגם לא נרפה. אנחנו נעצים את הפעולות שלנו ואנחנו נשיג את כל המטרות שלנו.
I honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I'm having a little bit of Netanyahu fatigue. I know many people in this country. This isn't a commentary on whether Netanyahu is a good person or a bad person. I'm just fatigued from him. And there's good things he's done that I can appreciate, but I'm fatigued. And many of my nation people are. We've heard a lot of promises in the last year, and more so today. Not saying, again, it's directly his fault, but we lost 4 more sweet, incredible, beautiful, heroic soldiers in Gaza today, which is always heartbreaking every time that this happens. Four souls died. And we're all just feeling a little bit fatigued from our prime minister, I think. I think the longer this war goes on, the more I was having a conversation with friends about this yesterday. It's like, I feel Trump fatigue too. I see Hasselhoff wrote this. I feel fatigued from all of our leaders right now, because there was a lot of promises made, and we're not in a position where many of them have been followed. But I'm hoping and praying that this is for the best. We got one more clip here coming from the attack of the terrorists. Also wanted to shout out our super chat from PC, who dropped us 50 pounds. Said, Tal, you are my Jewish brother. God bless you. I'm of Mizrahi, Ashkenazi, and Sephardic roots. I salute those heroes. So sorry for what this happened. Thank you so much for the super chat, and I salute those heroes as well. And Zichronam Livracha, may their memory be a blessing to all the innocent people who were killed. It's really a devastating terrorist attack. So sad. So sad. It's terrible to see such traumatized people. But this is Palestinianism. Don't get it confused. This is exactly what Palestinianism is. It wants women running around yelling. It wants to vilify the most innocent of Jew, no matter where the Jew is, no matter where the Israeli is, because Israeli Arabs very much could have been hit from this attack today. This could have been a horrible attack on Israeli Arabs as well, because Israeli Arabs frequent these areas as well. They could have been the bus drivers. They could have been in the cars. It could have been anyone. This is not an attack that you're able to isolate just Jews, but they don't care about this, and that is Palestinianism in a nutshell. That's what it is. It's terrorism onto anybody at any time. Now I want you guys to take a look at this clip. I'm going to try to not make the music play. Okay, good. It seems like the music's not playing. This is a message I received. So you guys don't, maybe not all of you know this, but I'm in touch with a lot of people, and I speak to Arabs from all over the world. Actually, I always say predominantly my work is doing advocacy for Arabs. All of you Jews who watch me is a bonus. I mean, I always say that sometimes I like to educate also like specifically Western Jews, a lot who come from Ashkenazi descent, who don't know about Mizrahi, Sephardi, Ethiopian struggle, which is also a very big issue. I try to educate these people, but first and foremost, my targeting is always towards the Arabs. And I communicate with a lot of Arabs, and there's actually a couple Gazans that I've been in touch with for a while, quietly. And I got this message today from a Gazan, and I thought we could read it together. I think it's an important message. I can't, for some reason, fit the whole message on my screen. Okay, there we go. He sent me this on WhatsApp. Dear peace-loving brothers everywhere, I offer my condolences to you and to myself for the victims of the cowardly terrorist attack that targeted innocent civilians in Jerusalem, the city of peace and love. This criminal act, if anything, demonstrates that this terrorism has no religion. The criminal acts should not deter our efforts to raise the voice of peace. Rather, they should increase our determination to continue on the path of peace and love between the two peoples. Now, to put this message into context, which is quite insane, this person is living amongst Hamas and actually has family members that are of Hamas and are actively a part of Hamas. I know. That's insane. And still, he had the balls and the gumption to send me this message. His name is Ahmed. Now, I'm not putting him at any risk by showing the message or saying his name Ahmed, because there's 5 billion Ahmeds in Gaza. But it's just, if I can give you guys a little dabble of hope today during this stream, it's that maybe, just maybe, we're still not alone. We're not all, it's not all bad. Okay? And I actually want to take a moment here. I'm just realizing I got a comment tagged on it. We have just hit 600,000 subscribers. I think we maybe just... That's kind of crazy. I mean, I hate to celebrate during this tough time, but also it is a moment to actually celebrate. I cannot believe it. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually just hit 600,000 subscribers live on the stream. Ladies and gentlemen, can we get a round of applause for all of you for making us, and I kid you not, by every single metric on YouTube, we are the #1 largest, most powerful, most active Israel/Jewish/Mizrahi YouTube channel on this platform. #1. #1. We're bigger than any of the networks. We're bigger than specifically the amount of views we're bringing in. We brought in 21 million views last month. 21 million views. That's double the population of Israel. Guys, that is hope right there. That is hopeful right there. And I know it's not just my success. That's our success. I know it's something small, but my God, is that something to celebrate. 600,000 subscribers. We are well on the way to 1 million subscribers, which not just will it be a celebration, that'll be a statement to the world that we can do it. That we can do it. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. We're going to change the fucking narrative. That's what's going to happen. Guys, that is, thank you all. Thank you every single one of you. We just hit 500,000 subscribers. We didn't get a chance to properly celebrate because I've been so busy. Thank you, every single one of you. For real, I appreciate it. And I'm seeing we just surpassed 1,000 live viewers. This is officially my biggest live stream ever. This is the first time in my life where I've ever had 1,000 concurrent viewers on a stream. So thank you all. That's actually unbelievable. Thank you all for being here. That's amazing. Paul just super chatted us $10 saying, thanks for sharing that message from someone from Gaza. Of course, I'm so happy to share it too, and I hope that I get more messages like that from Gaza. Thank you so much, Paul, for the super chat. I appreciate that a lot. That is amazing, guys. In addition, just to cover a little bit of news, because usually this is a call-in show where people debate me, and that's not going anywhere. That's still going to happen. We're just covering a little bit of news here at the beginning of the show, just for the algorithm. You know how we have to do. Egypt slams Netanyahu over a plan to relocate Gaza residents. There's been a lot of talks in recent days about a reigniting of the war between Egypt and Israel. Not only that, but Emirates apparently was fed via Saudi Arabia a direct command to end the peace treaty with Israel, to exit the Abraham Accords if we claim land over the West Bank, and that caused Bibi Netanyahu to back away from claiming land over the West Bank and trying to move that piece of this conflict into some sort of solution. So Arabs being Arabs again, just unwilling to make any sort of progress towards the future, hell-bent on creating a Palestinian state that they acknowledge will attack Israel. So we're just going to be back at point A of war again. Instead of actually being normal Arab countries and saying, hey, these Palestinians are going to attack them, let's let Israel declare sovereignty over the West Bank, take the West Bank, and create a framework for them to live a better life. We can't. Hi, Mars. Loves you very much. Also, we got a super chat from PC499. Said, I fight on Facebook daily for Israel to push the truth. Thank you so much. That's amazing that you do that. And also, Yaniv dropped us a $10 super chat just saying, Yaniv. Thanks, Yaniv. Appreciate you. I also just got an update right now that Hamas has officially rejected the most recent ceasefire deal from Israel. What a fucking shocker. I really think that Israel needs to stop with these goddamn ceasefire deals and just fuck them up for good. That's it. Destroy Gaza City. Leave no trace. We can't keep going back and forth with these ceasefire deals. It's useless. It's not going anywhere. Nothing's happening with it. Just finish what we need to finish in Gaza and get over to the next point. All right, let's talk about real quick. This is from Ynet News, and then we'll do the call-in section. I'm going to open up the Discord for everybody right now. If you're not a part of the Discord, I suggest that you join the Discord right now. There will be a link in the description of this video. There should be a link in. We're supposed to have a bot, but I'm not sure if it's been working the last couple months. I don't think it has been. But you can queue in on the Discord to call in. I'll have hopefully Jack or somebody who's competent with my Discord in the chat. Hopefully help us understand or help you guys understand how to do it. I'm just gonna make sure. Yeah. So a lot of people are trying to join the stream. Okay. So just raise your hand if you get into the chat. This is what it looks like, by the way. You can see. You can raise your hand, and then I will bring you guys up one by one if you have something you want to say. Usually I try to prioritize people who are debating, who want to debate me.
We are having a lunch now, like.
Sorry, that was supposed to be an outro there, but it sometimes glitches out. So I usually try to prioritize people who want to debate me on the show, but we'll just read real quick this situation with Egypt. And please, if the Discord link is missing, please join right now so we can get you called in. Tensions rise between Egypt and Israel as Netanyahu urges Cairo to take in fleeing Gazans while Israel orders civilians to leave northern Gaza. Egyptians fear a mass influx of refugees could overwhelm southern border areas. No, Egyptians hate Palestinians. They don't care about anything other than the fact that Palestinians are not real Arabs to them, even though nobody believes Egyptians are real Arabs either. Trust me, all this jargon conversation and the newspapers and the media it's all bullshit. All these people hate each other because they're super racist towards each other. That's why it's happening. Oh, okay. I think Jack is signed into my account. Okay, that's why that came through. Okay, thanks, Jack. Israel plans to push Palestinians south ahead of a northern Gaza offensive has sparked tensions with Egypt, which fears a mass influx of refugees across its border as both sides trade criticism over the impending attack on Gaza City. According to the New York Times, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu described Gaza City in northern Gaza as one of Hamas's last stronghold. He said roughly 100,000 Palestinians have already fled the city following Israeli evacuation orders. Okay, in my opinion, the most important thing, and I'm going to add my 2 cents on this, and then I want you guys to call in, and we'll do a debate. In my opinion, the most important thing that Donald Trump can do right now is put immense pressure on Egypt to accept as many Palestinians as possible. Egypt created October 7th. October 7th could not have happened without Egypt. Okay? Just take a moment to think about this. I know many of you guys may be new to the channel. Egypt facilitated the weapons transfers, the money transfers, the terrorist transfers, the tunnel building, the vehicle transfers, the motorcycle transfers. Everything, the North Korean weaponry, everything came through Egypt. Egypt was aware and knew what October 7th was going to be. They knew that there was tons of weaponry coming in, and they allowed it all to happen. That's not a peace partner. That's an enemy. Egypt now needs to do the right thing, and they need to flood in their country as many Gazans as possible. It should not be Israel's responsibility anymore. I really believe that Trump has a lot of pressure he could put on Egypt. He needs to say, that's it. You take the Gazans now. It's your responsibility. And what will Egypt have to do? They'll have to massacre the Gazans but this is a decision that should be Arab versus Arab. They shouldn't have to force us to kill Gazans anymore. We don't want to. We want peace with them, but they don't want peace with us. So they should go to their Arab brothers and sisters in Egypt, as many as we can get in there. They should go, and then Egypt will have to massacre them, because Egypt's not going to go ahead and start choosing who's terrorist, who's not. Egypt's just going to murder all of them. But that needs to be a message that comes to the world. And I'm not saying that I want Palestinians in Gaza to die. What I'm saying is there's no other option left. And Egypt's not stepping up to the plate and doing what it needs to do. Egypt has tons of responsibility to bear here. Egypt needs to take in as many Gazans as it can, needs to do its best job. It's not going to do a good job. And it needs to massacre the Gazans it needs to massacre. And that's just the end of it. That's it. And you know what's funny? I think most Palestinians wouldn't even go to Egypt because they would be scared. They would be scared of what the Egyptians would do to them, if I'm being completely honest with you. Because the Egyptians would fucking destroy them. They would murder them. It would be disgusting. It would be a massacre unlike the world has ever seen. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I think needs to happen. Ayanora just dropped us 100 rupees. Happy birthday to Achi Amichai. Happy birthday, Amichai. And thank you, Ayanora, for the super chat. Appreciate you being here as always. And let's shall we jump into the call-in section, ladies and gentlemen? Let's bring on our first callers. Anybody who wants to be up on the show, just raise your hand, and I'll try to bring on some new people that I've never spoken to before. I try to always prioritize names of people I haven't seen yet. Hello.
Oh, whoa! I just got invited into here.
Yeah, welcome.
Welcome. I've not spoken on here for a while, so yeah, I've not got too much of a debate issue, but I did post something in the chat.
Okay.
Where you were that there's just an article about it, because you were saying earlier that, you know, like, it was all done through Egypt. I'm not denying that, but then also at the same time, you know, I'm looking at this article, I just posted it, saying that there were Egyptian officials that did actually warn Israel that this was going to happen. So I think that, I mean, I do understand where you're coming from. I do need to look into it a little bit more, but I think there's a difference between Egypt orchestrated and planned this as like as a state entity, and this is just something that is happening. Maybe it's clandestine, maybe it's not something that people can stop, because the Egyptian government may be, you know, it may have its relations with Israel, and, you know, it may be more, you know, considerate to the kind of economic geopolitical stability, but I don't think that the population feels the same way.
Oh, they absolutely do. Actually, the government is the only one that's semi on Israel's side. The population is super pro October 7th.
Oh, no, they are. I mean, I've spoken, like, on Discord especially, I haven't seen one Egyptian who wasn't not only pro-Palestine, but also actively hates their government for being complicit with Israel. I haven't spoken to a single one. I've spoken to many, and not one. So, you know, like, I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but I don't think that the Egyptian government, I mean, maybe I'm just pushing back on something that you didn't specifically say.
No, but
right?
I mean,
but
they are 100% complicit as well, because the Egyptian government has low-level employees who work these borders. I mean, Egypt is in chaos. Egypt is in shambles. The government Egypt isn't anything. You know, it's just like there's some, like every single Arab country for the most part has some rich people at the top that take all the money, they hoard all the resources, and the rest are low-level. What's the word? The goons, like the low-level goons of the country. And so that's the same thing for the Sinai border. You think they put their cream of the crop on the border with Rafah? Absolutely not. You think they put the smart, powerful, intelligent people on the border with Gaza? Absolutely not. They put the most racist, the most mean, the most brutal people on that border, but they also put people who will be sympathetic. They put a lot of people who will be sympathetic, or people will become sympathetic over time. So it doesn't matter. I really believe that Egypt bears the brunt of responsibility. I mean, I blame the Arab world at a whole for October 7th for the blatant anti-Semitism that's continuing in their worldview for the last 77 years and never making an attempt to actually fix it. I felt that firsthand when I was in Egypt. But Egypt is a fucking mess. Egypt is a horrible country. Horrible country. Just like one of the worst. It is overpopulated. It is underfunded. It is corrupt. It is dangerous. I mean, when I went through Egypt, when we were crossing through Israel, driving to Cairo, we literally had to avoid a like almost 1,000 or maybe 600 kilometer stretch of road because ISIS is fully in control of the northern Sinai Peninsula. Fully in control. Fully in control.
No, I mean, I don't dispute that. I mean, obviously, you know, you look at where Egypt has come from, you know, only, was it 10 years? Well, God, when is 2011? It's over 10 years ago now, isn't it? You know, they had an Arab Spring, they had a revolution, and they've sort of been in a state of kind of like just trying to contain kind of like the elements of that. So I'm the thing that I kind of disagree with really is just saying that, and I've seen lots of Israelis say this, like just push the Palestinians into Egypt and Jordan. They're not really reliable allies anyway. And you were just saying now, like, you know, the Egyptians, you know, if the Palestinians act up, you know, they will slaughter them, or, you know, they'll put them in line, they'll keep it down. I think that's a dangerous prospect because at the end of the day, you know, most of that population is incredibly sympathetic, and I extend that all the way up into the army. You know, so
what do you mean
I think
that population is sympathetic?
sympathetic to the Gazans,
Brother,
right? To the
brother, you don't know the Arab world. You could be sympathetic and still murder. Yeah, that's what the Arab world does best. They will, in the same moment, they will be like, well, I love you, free Palestine, but also don't come here. And if you come here, I'll kill you. Hold on, guys. This is a one by one.
Yeah. Sorry.
Just please stay on mute until I call you. They will say, please come, or please stay there, die for us. Actually, I want to show you guys a quick clip. I have to show you guys this clip real quick on stream. You guys in Discord are not going to hear it. So actually, you know what? No, fuck it. Let me try to share this. Before we continue on, I want to show you guys the pinnacle. This is the pinnacle of Arab society in one clip. Let me show you guys. This is unbelievable. I did a reaction to this week. Where was this? Here. This is coming from a guy. His name is Hassan. Fuck, I can't remember his name. Something Abu Hatta. He's a 16 or 17-year-old Gazan born in Kuwait who moved to fucking Gaza when it was supposedly a concentration camp. Yeah, which makes a lot of fucking sense. And has been living there, daily vlogging, fucking vlogging his life like he's a YouTuber. He actually is a fucking YouTuber since the war has begun. And I want to show you guys this clip. Hold on, I'm starting it for Discord first. Share this window. And let me show it to you guys on the...
I've seen this guy.
Wait.
I've seen this guy everywhere. Yeah,
okay,
he pops up every now and again.
Stay on mute real quick. I just want to show you guys this clip.
All right.
I just have to choose. All right, everybody bear with me 1 second. I'm just dealing with a little bit of technicality shit to make sure that the stream is coming through the right place. There we go. Quick time. Okay. I want everybody guys to watch this clip. Remember what Furf was saying right now about how Arabs, they'll be sympathetic, okay? Watch. This is the Arab world in 1 minute. All right? Here we go.
I leave Gaza. I don't know why you would...
Wait. Talk about it.
Some people have called me a traitor for saying that I want to leave Gaza. I don't know why you would call someone trying to survive a traitor. I don't know why you would call someone trying to, just continue their life a traitor. And if you call me a traitor for wanting to live life whilst you're sitting in God knows where in a hotel, God knows where in a... Who are you to speak? Who are you to call me a traitor? Why would you call me a traitor for wanting to leave the suffering that I'm going through right now? Why would you call me a traitor? Why would you call me a traitor for wanting to continue my life? Why are you calling me a traitor for wanting to live a life just like you, trying to live a life normally? It's as if that we're just meant to die as Palestinians.
There you go.
It's just as if we're meant to die for you.
That's it.
You don't want to die? You're a traitor. Why would you even say that? That's so calling me a traitor for wanting to live a life normally, like any other.
I will call back to this clip, I think, for the rest of my fucking life. It is one of the most insightful clips I have ever seen on Arab society as a whole. I think it is so indicative of the crisis that the Arab world is going through and has been going through for its entire existence. And it's literally it is perfect pinpoint what is the problem with the Arab world. This kid who's not even fucking Palestinian, he's not Gazan. I mean, I don't know, I guess he's a Kuwaiti Palestinian. He wants to get the fuck out of the war zone, and people are telling him, shame on you. Shame on you. You deserve to die. Why? Because you're Palestinian. Because you're our martyr. They're not even fucking Arabs. These people aren't even Arabs. They share DNA, most of them with Israelis, with Jews. And he's expected to die for nothing. He's a smart kid. I've watched some of his videos. He's not an idiot. He knows that there's no future to the Palestinian cause. And they tell him, die. Die for us. And if you don't die, you're a fucking traitor. And that's exactly, by the way, what would happen in Egypt. If they brought him into Egypt, they would say, why the fuck did you guys abandon Palestine? You were supposed to die for us. You were supposed to die. You were our sacrifice. That's the Arab world in a nutshell.
Well, they want everybody to be dead, not just those people, not just this boy alone.
But it's bigger than just that of wanting everyone to be dead. It's not just about killing everybody in world domination. It's even more. It's more disgusting than that. It's worse than this, because behind the scenes, the conversations are about how many Gazan deaths are too much. While we're trying to get our fucking hostages out, they're thinking about how many people more can we keep sacrificing? How many more of our Arab brothers and sisters deserve to die before we give up on this fucking retarded pipe dream? And let me give you a little inside scoop. There's no fucking number. There's no fucking number. It's an infinite amount. If you kill all 6 million Palestinians, that still won't be enough. It still won't be enough for them. Because the idea is blood. Muhammad Hijab tells you. And I'm not talking about all Muslims. I'm not talking about every single Arab here. I'm giving you an insight to this jihadist Islamist mentality. Muhammad Hijab said it best. Life for them begins at death. Dying for them is a part of the cause. You'll raise a kid to the age of 20. Invest in him. Food, resources, money, just to kill him so he can kill a Jew. You're supposed to die for us or you're a traitor. That's the mentality. Go find me a Jew in the Middle East. Go find me a Christian in the Middle East with that ideology. Please. Go bring me one. Bring me one up on stage. Go find me a Mandean, an Assyrian, a Phoenician. Go find me a Coptic Christian. Go find me a Kurdish person with that fucking ideology. You can't.
Hey, buddy, I'm very happy that I'm here, but I have agreed on everything that you said. Like, I've been watching your YouTube channel for a while now, maybe for a few months now. But I have one thing to say. I am Kurdish, and I am sure that you know who Kurdish people are.
Mm-hmm.
And you're bringing Armenian massacres, you're bringing Assyrian Christians, and so many other nations and nationalities around us as an example in your videos. But I've never seen you.
I have. This
heard
is
you.
actually
Personally,
one of the. It's one of the
not very
reasons.
common.
It's one of the reasons I've kind of stopped talking about it so often, because Kurdish people keep coming at me for not mentioning it enough. And I'm like, bro, I mentioned it all the time. I talk about it all the time. You guys are annoying me that you keep asking me to bring it up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. By the way, I'm part Kurdish. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my grandfather is from Kurdistan. I mean, I've had conversations with Kurdish people about this, and the history, especially with the Jewish people in Kurdistan, is confusing, because some people say we were never Kurdish, we were Assyrian Jews, and some people say we were Kurdish Jews. So there's a split in ideology. But the reason I've sort of taken my foot off the gas pedal is because Kurdish people keep pressing me like, "Hey, talk about Kurdistan." I'm like, bro, I've mentioned it for a year and a half. Ask anybody in my audience that's been here. I mentioned Kurdistan all the time. So I've been
born in a Jewish district, the one and only Jewish district in Erbil. If you know that.
That's amazing. I really want to visit. I'm like dying to visit there.
Yeah, but it is wonderful for you, but for me it's been a nightmare for me, because even the relatives, I'm not a Muslim, I'm a Christian, but undercover Christian, you can say. Even the relatives are telling me that you're not faithful, you're not a Muslim, because you were born in a Jewish district. That affected your life, that affected your brain and everything.
Yeah. Sounds like Islamic society. Sounds like Islamic society.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have so much fixing to do deep inside of Islamic society. They need help. They really need help. Really, desperately. I really feel like many Muslims are begging for help.
There is a song that says, "Nothing so broken can ever be fixed." I don't think that can ever, like, Islamic ideology be fixed.
I disagree heavily. You look at this. You look at the Sufis. Look at the Ahmadis. We have cooperation with them. Look at there's different factions of Muslims and Arabs that live in Israel, and we work with them. The Afro-Bedouin community in Rahat is a great example. I honestly even believe that the Afro-Gazan community could potentially be peace partners, because these are a subjugated minority inside of inside of a subjugated minority. So I think there's a lot of potential. It's just reform. We need to push for reform. We need to push for Islam and for the Muslims who practice it the same way their Khaliji brothers and sisters are progressing into the modern world. We need to push for all of them to feel inspired to progress into the modern world. That's all it is. And then we might have a shot at some serious peace. Thanks for calling in, Mushu. I appreciate you, bro. And also thank you to Furf for calling in. All right, let's take another caller. Zentap?
Bro.
Brother.
How you doing, man?
Baruch Hashem. 1 second. Let me just call out these super chats. We got $5 from Shauna. Says, remember the ex-Palestinian mother? She said they have babies for death. Absolutely. And thank you so much for the super chat, Shauna. We can never forget that. And those clips circulate all the time, by the way. They don't stop saying it. I mean, they were saying it at the beginning of the war often, too. And they got caught on camera saying it many times. Also, Amy dropped us a $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Amy, for the support. We appreciate you very much. All right. Zentap, give me your thoughts, brother.
Yeah, man. I was thinking, obviously, my condolences and my sympathies to the families, obviously, of the fallen that were victims today of the horrible attack in Jerusalem. And my thoughts are with the people who were injured as well and their families. But I was thinking, there's always a lot of criticism of Israel when these type of attacks happen, because anything we do, we get criticized, regardless of what it is. Whether it's whether people perceive it as good or bad, that's still criticized. And something that Israel has often been criticized about is we create enemies when we beef up security, or when we destroy the houses of guys who blew themselves up or shot people in innocent people, or whenever we take any kind of security measure, no matter what it is, from the most benign to the most serious, right? Where you're creating more enemies, which is the most ludicrous answer for obvious reasons.
Yep.
Because if you look at, for example, before we had a security wall separating Judea, much of Judea and Samaria from, the rest of Israel, there were so many more attacks during the Second Intifada, like on a daily basis. The attempted attacks was like through the roof. It was like 5 to 10 attempts every day for many, many years. And they put up the wall, and it dropped significantly to practically nothing for a long time. And then, when it was like high, it was like 1 to 2 attempts a day. Thank God they stopped them. So when people say that making something more secure actually makes it less secure, it's a really retarded way of looking at things.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't, in fact. It makes things more secure. So anyway, just a thought, and I hope that we will see calmer and better days. And keep doing what you're doing, man, and congrats on the word getting around, man. You're doing great. It's awesome to see it.
Thank you so much, brother, and thanks for
Doing great things.
Thanks for being here for so long. I really appreciate the ongoing commitment and support of the channel, and always chiming in.
You know it, man.
See you, brother. All right, let's take a moment here. I'm going to unmute anybody who's on mute. Does anybody have anything they want to disagree with me on? Anything they want to debate me on? Let's try to bring. Oh, actually, wait. We do have. Hold on. We have somebody. I don't want to introduce her without her consent, because I don't know if she'll feel comfortable saying it. But we do have somebody who could give us a very interesting insight. Meyer, are you here? Meyer?
Hey, I'm here.
Hey, is it okay to say where you're from, or do you prefer to keep it secret?
No, it's okay. Hey, I'm Mayar from the West Bank. I'm from Hebron.
Palestinian, correct?
Yes.
All right. What's on your mind? I'd love to hear from you. This is guys. Everybody should show the utmost respect. We have a Palestinian amongst us today who's willing to chime in her thoughts. This is not often that we get that. So I'd appreciate hearing any insight for your thoughts on today in general.
Well, unfortunately, actually, I woke up knowing that there was a terrorist attack in Israel. So that was really sad. I think 5 people got killed.
6.
So, yeah. Oh, 6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's just sad. I was alone at my home, and my family came, and my mom, of course, was like my mom is not really the biggest moral person, so she was like, let them go to hell. So yeah, Al Jazeera was also on TV, so Of course, you know what is the Palestinian point of view.
Wait,
It's just the
when you
same.
said your mom said let him go to hell, she meant the Jews or the terrorists?
Dutch
Yeah, the
Jews.
people killed.
The terrorists.
No, 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 not the terrorists. The Jews.
Ah, your mom who is just she's not affiliated with any terrorist group or anything, right?
Yeah, nothing. She's just a regular Palestinian, and that's sad. That most of my people, the majority of my people, are just for no reason. They're just stupid, I guess.
Wow. Wow, that's
Yeah,
very sad.
Also on social media, everyone is like, I don't know, cheering up and celebrating. It's just the same as October the 7th, to be honest. Every single terrorist attack. Like, do you remember, of course, the war between Iran and Israel?
Mm-hmm.
Every single time where there was like where Israel was getting bombed by Iran, kids would get out like out of their houses and look at the sky, and some bombs would get intercepted, and then they're gonna be like, and some would not get intercepted, and they would hear the voices because we're so close, and they would start cheering and whistling. So it's just the same every single time there would be a terrorist attack. Here people are just cheering up, which is sad. It's just it really it just worsened the situation. It doesn't get better. It doesn't.
This is always my issue that I go back to when people try to tell me all the time that it's not all Palestinians. I mean, obviously it's not all Palestinians, but like people always try to make this a correction that like Hamas is not the ideology of the Palestinians and it's a terrorist group that's holding them hostage. I'm like, listen, Meyer, you can maybe correct me if I'm wrong. If, for example, Hamas was successful and rich and could supply the Palestinians with whatever they wanted, and it still had the same ideology of killing the Jews, throwing them out of Israel, the vast majority of Palestinians would still side with Hamas, correct?
Yes, they would still side with Hamas, even though in the West Bank, the one who is ruling the West Bank, like the PA, which is the Palestinian Authority, which is different than Hamas, but still they have the same ideology, the same perspective on Israel, that they are white colonizers and they don't have a right to exist here peacefully. And even if there were any civilians like killed in Israel, they don't give a shit about them. And they just keep talking about the journalists who would get killed in Gaza, quote unquote journalists. So their morality is ambiguous and paradoxical, to be honest. So it's just really stupid, and it's sad. It's sad that this is what is happening.
Yeah, it's really, really sad that this cancerous ideology is still the one. But I hope you guys, I hope people who are watching, I'm not saying that Meyer is the end-all, be-all authority on Palestine, okay? Because I would never make that claim. She's one person who lives in one specific place, and she's obviously a very smart, incredible woman, and we're happy to have her here. But I'm not going to pretend that she stands for all Palestinians, and I'm also not going to pretend that everything that comes out of her mouth is gospel for Palestinian culture. But as somebody who's had many, many conversations with Palestinians, sometimes in their places, and people who are extremely supportive of Hamas and people who aren't, the general consensus is the vast majority of Palestinians believe in Hamas's ideology. Even if Hamas wasn't the group anymore, and a different group came about that had money and power and could support the Palestinian people, and they were called, like I've said in many videos before, they were just called FAMAS, but they still believed in everything that Hamas believed in. They still wanted to do everything that Hamas wants to do. The Palestinian people would overwhelmingly choose them as their group in power. And that's something to remember. This isn't saying that all Palestinians are our enemies. No. It's saying that Palestinians are hurting. They've got a massive, massive problem societally, and it's our duty to help them and push them in the right direction. I really, truly, truly believe in that. Truly believe in that at the bottom of my heart. Myra, I really appreciate you calling in. Thanks for giving us this very important insight. Habibti. Shukran.
Habibitel, welcome.
See you, bye. Okay, let's bring on, I see Victor was really hurting to get on the show. Victor, are you here?
Yeah, me too.
All right, Victor, I want to give Victor an opportunity because he went down and up a couple times. Victor, are you here? Okay, I guess Victor's mic's not working. We'll let him iron out that kink. Craig, go. You're on.
Tal, just real quick.
Oh,
Yeah? Who is this?
It's me.
Oh.
Your faithful. Two people are having, including Dave and Victor, they're having trouble with the live stream. I'm trying to figure it out at the moment. So
Okay.
maybe come back.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate it. Okay. Yes, Craig, hit me.
greetings, first of all. Shalom.
Greetings,
yeah,
my brother. Greetings, my brother.
Greetings.
Good sir.
Shalom, ahi.
Shalom.
Shalom, ahi. It's not a debate per se, but it is a concern that I do feel that hasn't been touched upon. So I'm an Ashkenazim Jew from the UK. I was baptized into a Catholic family after I was adopted, and I grew up in a predominantly Muslim area. So I'm essentially a direct echo chamber of Tommy Robinson. I'm fighting the same fight he is.
Wow. Are you still
completely in the
Muslim?
same field.
Or are you still Christian today?
No, I've turned my back on both Christianity and turned my back completely on the knowledge that I've learned of Islam, growing up in a Muslim area. I was adopted, so I didn't actually technically know my blood type until my nan, and I had a DNA test through my nan where it turned out that I was Ashkenazim.
Okay.
So, my story of how I grew up to this point, nobody really cares about that. But what I really wanted to talk about is the theological nature of what's going on at the moment.
Okay.
So, from my side, when I see essentially Islamists going to mosques, worshipping their scholars, who I believe are the ideologists behind it, the narrative pushers, the scholars per se. When I see them growing up, how I've grown up, you begin to learn what I believe is the sort of the nature of the beast. So and it kind of tags onto the back of your previous conversation, is not all Muslims are violent. There are many of them that are peaceful, but it could be widely perceived that the peaceful Muslims are there for a reason. So from the UK's perspective, we live in a governed by consent state. So we govern by my consent, we consent to UK law. And that's based on majority percentage of voters throughout the UK. So if this becomes a majority Muslim country, which is well on the way with the new Home Secretary, which is a big concern of mine, we could have a 51% Islamic culture. And with that in mind, they could then vote in favour of Sharia law.
Right.
How does that work moving forward as in terms of theological warfare? So right now, I must question the narrative of the UK and spread my concern as much as possible. Is why are we not talking about what it means for a Muslim to be at war within himself? What does the Quran mean in terms of what ideologies do they accept and which ones they refuse, and how they go about refusing it? Am I sort of?
Yep.
Am I making sense?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out I wanted to give it a shout out real quick to join my cult, please, for calling me a fat zogtard. I am obsessed. I've never heard this before. Can we get claps in the chat? Ladies and gentlemen, this is a new one I've never heard. Fat zogtard is unbelievable work. That's amazing. Okay.
I'm proud. I'm very proud.
Fat zogtard is crazy good. We might have to name one of the chats in the. Jack, can you get on that real quick? Can you change bok choy, whatever the hell it's called, to fat zogtard? Because that is some fucking crazy work. That's great. All right, shout out. Okay, Craig. First of all, I'm talking about it, but here's what I notice as somebody who has deep appreciation and love for the UK, specifically to England, because I don't know if you know, but I lived in the UK for a little while, and a lot of my formative years traveling, the first 5 years of my life traveling, I visited London like a couple times a year. I lived in a bunch of different neighborhoods in London, and really fell in love with the culture there and the people there, and made so many friends across England and Wales. And what I'm noticing, what I'm very disappointed in, I would say yes, fine. Most of the people I met were overwhelmingly liberal, because that's kind of the circles I was hanging out in back then as a travel vlogger. They were just naturally more liberal circles. But I've just seen this in action, this indifference to what the hell is going on for my British friends. And it's shocking. Like, it's been shocking, but it's continuously shocking me. Just zero desire to speak up, zero desire to say anything, zero desire to to stand up for one's country, for one's neighborhood. You know, there's a certain point where push comes to shove and you have to say, you can't shut up anymore. And that's kind of what I've been seeing from the mass British public. Now, obviously, Tommy is leading something different. I have my own concerns on whether if Tommy is enough. We need like 10, 20, 50 Tommies. The problem is they're not there right now, and many people are very afraid to speak up. Now, when I break it down, and I'll let you speak in a second, I think you have two options, right? The way that I look at it. You got two options. Whether there's a bunch of peaceful Muslims in the UK or not is kind of irrelevant. It doesn't matter. The tides are turning, and they're going to take over. They are going to take over your country. They're saying they're going to do it. They're proudly saying it on TV, on YouTube podcasts. I react to 10 clips a day just about how many UK Muslims are saying they are there to take over. They want to colonize this country and make it a part of the Muslim world. And they're succeeding. Now
you're talking to an ex-Queen's Guard. I'm ex-military. It's not going to happen on my watch, my brother.
But here's the thing. You have an option in front of you. I don't think there's a future in the UK. Genuinely, and this isn't me saying I think Muslims should be kicked out of the UK. There's two paths I see the UK going down. It either becomes a Muslim country, or there's no future in the UK for Muslims. I don't see an in-between where Muslims can exist in the UK peacefully, because the ideology of Islam in the UK right now is so backwards. It is the worst version of Islam. It's almost worse in some ways than the Islamists in the Middle East, because they can be reasoned with via power. The ones in the UK are untouchable because you can't reason with them via power. They have already gamed your government system against you. So they're untouchable. And I want to add one more thing. If you need a litmus test, which I use for the extremism, it comes down to the most basic and small of things. I have conversations with Muslims, as you guys see, on almost a daily basis. And every time I match with a Muslim or somebody who looks Muslim, looks Arab, I always start the conversation with Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you in Arabic. And the common response to Assalamu alaikum is alaikum salam, which means upon you may there be peace. It is the most typical greeting. I walk out of my door here in Israel, and if I see a Muslim, I will say Assalamu alaikum, and a Muslim will say back to me alaikum salam. I grew up around Muslims. I have Muslims who are a part of my family. I have cousins who are Muslim, who I've told them Assalamu alaikum, and they said to me alaikum salam. It is almost predominantly the Muslims in the UK who, when I say to them Assalamu alaikum, they say to me alaikum. Because there's one hadith that mentions that maybe the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said that to the non-Muslim, you're not allowed to say peace be upon you. You're just supposed to respond with upon you. Now, I mind you, Muslims in the Muslim world, in the core, Arabs from Saudi Arabia will not say alaikum. They will say alaikum salam. So this perverted and terrible version of Islam that has formed and festered in the streets of the UK, specifically in London and the surrounding neighborhoods. The litmus test is look at the basic. Don't go big scale. Don't look at the terrorist attacks. Look at how they treat non-Muslims in a place where they're comfortable.
My brother,
Assalamu alaikum is not even their term. It comes from Shalom Aleichem. It actually comes originally from Aramaic, which comes originally from Akkadian, from Assyrian. It's literally not even an Arabic terminology. It's not even an original concept from the Arab world. But that is how perverted this version of Islam has become. That's my little rant.
No, bless you, my brother, and I'll keep my finishing point short and sweet, is that not on my fucking watch, my bro. I'm going to be doing everything I possibly can to voice what I've learned and what I've seen and how I can make change, because this country needs reform. And actually, I will publicly say right now, as an ex-military man who's guarded the Queen, who's grown up in a Muslim area that is Jewish, that's been baptized, literally moving forward, there are plenty of us out there. And if I ask a Muslim, Do you believe in Muhammad? And do you believe that women and men should be separated when sitting down, or however it is if they say yes, then they need to go. If they're not, and they're willing to assimilate into our culture and become apostates to their own, then I accept them. Like I've got my friend who's Iranian, who is an apostate. He's so scared of going back to Iran. So like there are plenty of us out here. We are strong, and trust me, we're not gonna fall. We're gonna do the best we can. I'm dry mouthed saying that because I am so passionate about this, my brother, and it's thank you for doing everything you're doing,
brother Craig. I fear it may be too late, but I hope to God that your creed and your doctrine pushes you forward to save your country. Godspeed, my brother. Godspeed.
Shalom aleichem.
Godspeed, my brother. Wonderful call from Craig. That was very insightful. All right, who's next? Who wants to debate Tal? Anybody with a spicy opinion in here?
You hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. The sow.
So I just want to be simple. I usually don't get involved with this stuff because I'm Lebanese. I'm also Christian.
Okay.
The whole Middle East, all that to me is a big mess.
God bless you.
From my perspective.
God bless you, my Lebanese brother. I love you.
I appreciate you. From my perspective, I never really cared about this stuff until I saw what happened to those kids on October 7th. And it got personal for me because I saw what some of those happened to some of those little girls. I think some of them were in the army. It kind of broke my heart because I had a little sister who passed away, so I took it personal. I understand, Tal, that you want to respect everybody, and you say, you know Palestinians and all that, and that's cool. You know, your landlord's Palestinian. I think the problem is there's too much catering to the Palestinians. There's too much catering to Muslims. It's always on the Westerners to solve this problem. When are we going to allow the Muslims to solve their own problem and like accept that they're part of a community that, you know, is different from theirs? Like, when are we going to accept them to change with that? Because we always have to change for them or cater to them.
No, they can't, brother. They can't change. If we wait for them,
then they need to go.
If we wait, no, they can't go. They're not going anywhere, and they can't change.
Why not?
Because they're incapable. This is a group of people who are hurting and they're crying for help, and they're incapable of getting their shit together and doing what needs to be done. That's a reality. And guess what? It's our job, incredible Christian Lebanese people like you, Jews like me, it is our job to come together for them and fix them. They need a fixing. They need help. They're not going anywhere. That's a pipe dream. You can't just kick them out.
Why is it? No, it's not kicking them out. No. It's not kicking. You might have to kick out some. At the end of the day, you can sit there and help them out all you want. And I'm no Zionist, and I like Israel because I like the fact that Israel takes care of the history of the land. I'm not religious at all. But you can't sit there and expect these people to change because you're like, well, they're not smart enough or they're not capable enough. It's our responsibility to change them. At the end of the day, how many kids, little kids, and maybe I'm an older guy here. I'm 36. But I mean, 19-year-old Israeli kids, like babies, have to die in Gaza or die in festivals. How many kids in concerts in the UK?
You can't do the litmus test of standing on people's bodies. It's not going to work because they have more bodies.
Not standing on.
It is, and I appreciate what you're saying. I appreciate your sentiment, but they can stand on as many bodies as they want as well. They've got stacks of bodies to stand on. Now, but here's the thing. This is the thing you have to understand. Our success. Yeah, also somebody said 36 isn't old, bro. You're not old. I don't know why you said you're old. 36 is not old at all.
I feel old, man. I feel old.
You're not old. You're good, bro. The only way we succeed in this region is if we come up together. Now, there's different ways to succeed. I agree with you that Westerners and like white people, European people, don't need to be our moral compass in this region. We don't need to look at the Western world and democracy to see what can be done to get to peace. Because it doesn't work here. But that's why people like you and I, ethnic minorities in the region now, need to pipe our fucking mouths up. I need 1 million Lebanese Christians outspoken, but I don't have them. You understand me, Habibi? I need 1 million Lebanese Christians ASAP. I need them tomorrow. And I need them willing to risk it all to stand alongside me and say, we want peace with Israel now, and we want to usher in a new age of peace in the Middle East. And I need them to come out from California, and I need them to come from London and from France, where we know a lot of them live. I need them to pipe up, but I don't have that. I'm on my own.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying.
responsibility?
Let me finish what I'm saying. These Arabs that are hurting, they're hurting because of Arab settler colonialism. Arabs came into this region and they took everything from all of us. We Jews, by the luck of the draw, by God, whatever you want to blame it on, I believe in God, we were able to get out of the system. We were able to save ourselves. We were able to establish our own country. And I've said this a million times. Every single ethnic minority in the Middle East, including the Maronite Christians, which I'm presuming you're from, are looking at us. Orthodox, sorry. But every single ethnic minority in the Middle East is looking at us as a beacon of hope and talking about it behind closed doors and saying, we want that. We want what they have. We want our own borders and our own army and our own country and our own currency that honors our history and our ethnicity. We don't want to be Arabs anymore. And it's all being said in closed doors. Now, my job, who's somebody who has an army to defend him, my job right now on this earth is first and foremost to inspire every single one of you. That's what I do. That's why I come on here. That's why I talk and why I repeat my points over and over and over again. It's why the fuck I'm spending so much time learning Arabic. I don't want to learn Arabic, but I need to because it's part of my work. And so I'm doing it because I need to be able to connect with these people to show them the way. They need help. If we're going to expect these people to get to these conclusions on their own, we will die. And the region will go down in flames. They will not come to the conclusions on their own. They need help and they need guidance. And they need it via force. It's not going to happen by kumbaya peace talks and cups of tea. It's going to happen by strong, rigid borders, immigration control, peace talks between nations who have the same ideology, like Lebanon and Israel, who don't want religious, let's say like overwhelming religious dictatorships popping up in the Middle East. Still want an element of religion in their life, but they don't want it to be a religious dictatorship. We need these countries to come together, build a framework, build a firewall that's strong, that works in brotherhood, that sees each other not as foes, but as partners for peace. When we are able to come together first and foremost, like I said, I have a quota of a million Lebanese Christians I need tomorrow to step up with me, which I don't have, to say the same things I'm saying, to ignite the passion in the average Lebanese person, to remind them that they're fucking Phoenician and have zero connection to the Arab world. And not a single Arab in this world believes that Lebanese people are really Arabs. Not one. Not true down in their heart. Not one fucking Arab believes it. And I need 1 million Lebanese people like that coming on camera every day and making content in Arabic. But I don't have it. I just don't have it.
Can I ask you a question?
Please.
What is more realistic? All the Arabs or people who are not Arabs, right, come into that realization, or Israel having to constantly fight war? I mean, like, what is the best? Because we can try to get them to change their minds or to see the light, but they're not doing it. You just admitted it. They're not doing it. And then in the West, Israel's losing support. And yeah, Israel's
okay, wait. Let me answer your question with a question, okay? How many people have you seen like me talking like this?
Not many.
Can you name anybody else who's talked like this before?
I mean, there's that one guy you did like the I don't know his name, Sahar. There's another.
Sahar.
I lean more towards his thinking.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, can you name anybody else? Not really.
No, I can't think of any. No, not really.
There's 2 of us.
Yeah.
Imagine there's 2 of us. There are 2 people in this whole world, and I would say Sahar doesn't speak exactly the way I do. He's not like as nuanced with the Mizrahi sort of Arab cohesion as much as I am, and that's why his thing is a little bit more universal. I know my ideology isolates people. I have much respect for what he says, but I know mine's a little bit niche. So there's really just one saying the things that I'm saying with the nuance that I'm saying. Can you imagine if there was 20 of me? There's one. I just started a year and a half ago. There's only one tall. Now imagine I quickly went from 250,000 subscribers, a dead YouTube channel that was about traveling, to 600,000, inshallah, hopefully on the way to 1 million. What happens when there's 1 million people watching? I mean, we brought in enough views of a small population of a small country last month. Sorry, not even a small country. 21 million is a pretty sizable country. That's how many views we brought in on the channel.
Good.
Even if 1% get inspired, even if 1% learn from me, and I know it's a damn more than a 1% that are listening, that makes a change. So what do I think is more realistic? I think it's more realistic that what I do now starts a movement. I'm not saying it's going to be the solution. What I'm saying is there's nobody talking like me. I need 10 more talls to pop up in the next year. I expect maybe one will, but I need 10. Maybe in 5 years, when I'm 35, there'll be 20 talls speaking the way that I'm speaking. What happens to the Arab world then? Can you ask that question? Because I know, I mean, you may not know the names because I know the names, but there's quite a few Arabs in this Discord chat right now. I can see them by name. I'm not going to point out who they are. And you know who you are.
I have no doubt about it.
And you know who you are, and I love you very much because I know you guys personally. But I've seen the effect of this over the last year and a half doing this. Arabs from all over the world are gravitating towards me as a voice of reason that is making sense from them, that is making sense for them. It's something that actually makes sense. And we've had videos go viral, 1 million views on TikTok, another 1 million views on TikTok, debunking Arab supremacist rhetoric. And it's not views coming from just Jewish people or Christians. A lot of Arabs are engaging with this content. So imagine this nuance is delivered again and again, and it starts getting delivered in Arabic. What happens? I think it can have a real effect. Call me an optimist. I don't know. Maybe I'm an optimist prime. That's what I believe. I believe that this can have a change over time.
And being an optimist is good, but I'm saying you can also protect yourself until then.
We are protecting
You
ourselves.
have to rely on the other side. You have to rely on the other side to wake up and grow up. You can't just do all the work.
I don't believe the
Right.
other side is. I don't think the other side is capable of waking up.
I do too as well. So until the other side can get their shit together, I'd rather not see, kids die. Right? I mean, because clearly the media hates you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just from my perspective. I'm not the smartest one, I'm probably the dumbest one in this. I'm just giving
No.
you my perspective.
You're not the dumbest. Don't talk like that, bro. You're good, man. The fact that you made it to this Discord, the fact that you made it to having a conversation with me already proves that you have a lot of intelligence and way beyond the capacity of, not to say your people or people who think like you. So you're not dumb, and you're actually very, very smart, and I appreciate you calling in to have this conversation, bro. It's very nice to meet you, my Lebanese brother. We'll talk soon, all right?
Appreciate you guys.
Be well, bro.
Yep.
God bless. That's such a nice call, man. That's also, I love my Lebanese followers so much. I want to bring up the next caller. Whoever has like a controversial opinion or wants to debate.
Bring up Victor Tal.
Victor. I wanted to take a moment just to say though, where the hell's Victor? Oh, Victor's here. Okay.
I don't have a controversial
Give me 1 second. 1 second,
about
Victor.
anything.
1 second. I wanted to say just a quick thing about Lebanon. I never was interested in traveling to Lebanon. I never wanted to go to Lebanon. Lebanon actually never even fucking interested me as a country ever in my life. But through this war, I've gotten to know so many of my Lebanese followers. I have a genuine desire now to go there, to hang out with Lebanese people. I've fallen in love with the people from this country who have come out, who flocked to my YouTube channel. It's been like one of the coolest experiences in the world. So really big shout out to all the Lebanese clats out there who are watching. For real, I really appreciate you guys. You guys really show so much love when you reach out to me, and it means a lot. Okay, Victor, what's on your mind, brother?
I am a Coptic Egyptian Christian.
Hey!
I've watched your videos about how they brainwash the Muslims, like in channels like Memory, stuff like that. And I agree with you that they are trying to do this just to make the people think that the failure of their own government or the way that things are done in the country, and they blame them on the Jews.
Is that it?
So this is what happens most of the time. I know people who supports Israel and they are Egyptians, but most of them are atheists.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that when you talk to those other people, they tell you they occupied our land in 1948.
Yeah.
So they do not recognize how it became their land.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because it requires a rewiring of your entire worldview, and I can understand it's a difficult thing. It's difficult. That's why I really believe this kind of conversation can only be handled. Like, look, everything had to happen for a reason, in my opinion. Egypt and Israel were enemies in ancient times. Okay, and we're still enemies today. I believe in a future of peace between Egypt and Israel, but it can only happen. I really believe this. I don't believe that Jews that came here from European diaspora can make peace with Egyptian Jews. Let's talk about Egyptians tachlis for a second. We have 2 Egyptians in the chat that I can see right now. Victor, you can agree with me. Egyptians are extremely racist, correct? For the most part.
Yeah, I would agree.
Extremely racist people. They are never in a million years going to accept any truth or any information from Ashkenazi Jews. It's just not going to happen. Ashkenazi Jews had to come to Israel to establish the modern state, to tap in the Mizrahis and to tap in the Ethiopians. Now, Egyptians are never going to accept truth from Ethiopian Jews either because they fucking hate black people in Egypt. And that's just the truth. The most of the Egyptians, at least the Arabized Egyptians. So they're not going to accept it from Ethiopian Jews. So there's one group of people that can actually have this conversation with the Egyptians. And that is the Mizrahi Jews. The Mizrahi Jews are capable of making peace with the Egyptians. But it's going to require a rewiring in the history of Egypt. It's going to require a rewiring in the society of Egypt. And I believe that can only happen by Mizrahi Jews and Egyptians, whether they be Muslim or Christian or Coptic, whatever they be, coming together to have these conversations. We can't do it without each other. And it's not. I'm not saying this in a sense of kumbaya, but it genuinely needs to happen. Mizrahi Jews and Egyptians have never coalesced, and that needs to happen. Those conversations need to happen again, and they need to be targeted, and they need to even be on the border of brainwashing, where I really believe we need to give the mass of Egypt a new identity. Egypt needs to de-Arabize itself, because let's talk tachlis, anjad yani. There's no benefit for Egypt being Arab. Egypt has benefited nothing from being Arab. There was one point where there was a rich caliphate, I believe it was the Abbasids, and then it was over. From then, it has been a deep, steep, fast, fucking free throw or free fall of a decline downwards. And it doesn't seem that Egypt is going to get any better anytime soon, at least not for the mass of the Egyptian people. I
agree.
I truly believe that every country on our border, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, will benefit wildly from cooperation with us. Just learning from how we went back to our roots, and we're trying to go back to our roots constantly. And you guys look at us, and I'm not saying you, Victor, but I'm saying you guys look at us and you laugh at us, and we're cosplaying and we're dressing up and we're stealing this and we're stealing that. But for us, it's the most empowering feeling in the world. We're literally going back to our roots. If every single Arab country were capable of having that conversation internally and saying, you know what, we want that too. But I know, because you guys don't know. I do a lot of research. It's not just, I'm not sitting here all day just doing reaction videos. I'm tinkering and I'm having conversations. I know what's happening and at least the like rich Egyptian circles that are more like European or speak English. And I know that many Egyptians are starting to question, even the Muslim ones. A lot of the ones that went to go live in Dubai, a lot of them are starting to question. They're like, wait, hold on. Maybe I'm not Arab. The Emiratis and the Saudis don't treat me like I'm a real Arab. So maybe I'm not really Arab. And then they learn about the Coptics and they learn about the hieroglyphs. And they're like, wait, hold on. 1 second. There's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff here from before. Maybe I'm not what they're telling me. So I know for a fact things are starting to change, and I know that they're changing in Iraq, and I know that they're changing in Lebanon. So I have hope. I'm an optimist. But like I said to the Lebanese guy that was on here earlier, I need 1 million victors. I need 1 million. And here, I have Coptic Kapara is here too. He's a Coptic Egyptian as well. I need 1 million of you guys. I need 1 million of you guys just having these conversations. Willing to admit that the fucking Egypt today is terrible. Willing to have these conversations out in the open. So I don't have to be up here alone, because I'm up here alone on this stage all the time. And you know what? When Arabs attack you in mass and they tell you you're wrong, you're a propagandist, you're a liar, it sucks because I can't always pull you guys up. And it's not easy because there's not a lot of Coptic people out there speaking. So for me, I'm like, I need you guys with me. I can't do any of this without you. That's my TED Talk.
Yeah, I understand. But the problem, you know, if you said that, so basically the Arab idea, which Gamal Abdel Nasser was literally like advocating for it, that we are Arabs, we should unite and we should go and kill the Jews. And this is so stupid. If you read the history, you will see that we're not.
Yep. Nothing
And
Arab about you.
And actually, the people that I think are mixed with the Arabs are a little, like 20% of the Muslim population.
Less than 20%. Less than 20%.
Yep. Yep.
So, if they actually not like the problem here is that they do not read. They just go, oh, Israel is doing this. So Israel, when they wanted to gain their land that they were kicked out in 70 AD, they tried and they did it. Why don't we do the same thing and like de-Arabize ourselves, basically?
I believe, Victor, you haven't had the right partner to help you de-Arabize. And like I said earlier, I'm not trying to infantilize you guys, but what I'm trying to say is this isn't an easy process. Like, de-Arabization is not something that it doesn't happen like this. It requires a conversation with like the right amount of aggression and charisma that not everybody can deliver. And like I said earlier, Egyptians are just not going to react well to Ashkenazi Jews telling them this information. This is never going to happen. It can't happen. And they're never going to take this information from Ethiopian Jews either. Ever. Because they're just racist. And that's just the truth. There's a huge issue with racism in Egypt. So it has to come from somebody who looks like them, who talks like them, who can have the same charisma. And God, do we know how funny Egyptians are? It's got to be with the same level of comedy. And sort of Egyptians are very good at being self-deprecating, which is something I think Jews are very good at as well. And I think that's something that Egyptians are fucking pros at more than any of the other Arab groups. I mean, Egyptians will be the first one to talk shit about themselves, which I think is a great quality to have. It needs to come with that element of self-deprecation and genuine true friendship. I know I talk a lot of shit about Egypt on this channel, but okay, let's be honest. When it comes down to brass tacks, I feel more of a kinship with Egyptians than I do with, I don't know, anybody in Europe. Way more. Way more and forever. Even the most Muslim imam in Egypt, I will feel more of a connection with them than anybody in Europe, because these are my fucking neighbors, bro. I lived in their country. My ancestors lived in their fucking country at a certain point. Lived in their nation. Lived in that land. That land is a part of my history, and vice versa. Their history is a part of my land. We're literally neighbors. Our two nations are neighbors. We're family. So we're in a different situation now. I believe that the root needs to be peace. But it can't, you see this conversation we had now? I believe that the average Muslim Egyptian, and actually we've done this on the Discord before. We had a Muslim Egyptian who came in, was very hot-headed, very angry, and we got him to a point of understanding at the end. And it's something that takes time. It takes the right kind of person and persons. It's not going to happen overnight. It's got to be a movement that's really determined to make it happen. I really believe that. Coptic Kavara, would you like to chime in also?
Sure. I would say to Victor's point, because I think he said earlier that a lot of them don't understand just how, like, you know, or why these areas became Arabic speaking and Muslim. I would say there's definitely a portion of them that don't understand, but then there's the portion of them that understand very well, but they're proud of it. Like, because they see this as a fulfillment of their religion. And that's why it makes it so difficult to sort of uncouple Egypt from the Arab identity, because in rejecting the Arab identity, many of them will feel as though they are rejecting Islam because the Quran was, you know, revealed to them supposedly in Arabic. And so it creates an awkward situation for them, even though Egypt really has only been known as a quote-unquote Arab republic since, I think, 1954, 2 years after the Yilan Abu Gamal Abdel Nasser overthrew King Farouk. So that's why it's so hard. And, you know, I say this as somebody who does the Hasbara, and the first reaction is, oh, you're a Jew just saying that you're Coptic. Like, I'll show my DNA test, which comes back 100% Coptic Egyptian, and they'll say, oh, well, Jews run DNA testing centers. At some point, you are hitting a wall with these people, which is why I sort of have to talk the way I do, because force is really the only language that they understand.
Yep, I agree. I agree.
And by the way, we as Coptic Christians, we see ourselves in you, by the way. Like, you did what we cannot do.
Mm-hmm. I know. And I know this is what
I say this all the time.
This is what so many, and this is what I talk about all the time. I try to remind Jews this point all the time. Whenever Jews feel not proud of Israel, or they feel like, you know what the fucking Coptic people would do right now to commit a massacre against, not saying because they wanted to, but if they could do a massacre or a war of retribution against all the Muslims who have wronged them in the last 1,000 years, the Coptics would fucking go crazy. And so would the Mandeans. They would fucking destroy. And to forget the Kurdish, the Assyrians would go fucking ballistic. They look at our army and they see what the IDF is doing, and they're like, you guys are fucking retards. What are you holding back for? Flatten that shit. And we're like, whoa, hold on. We're liberal and we're this, and we gotta hold on. And all the other ethnic minorities are like, fucking kill them. How do I know? I get messages every day from all these different groups saying, what the fuck are you guys doing? We're rooting for you. Am I wrong?
Yeah, if my dad was prime minister of Israel, shit would have been solved within 48 hours.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because we get it. And this is the thing. It's like, it's got to be, it's just, and this is, God forbid, again, I don't want ever people to misunderstand this point. I may have to make a video about this just to explain. I just think everything had to happen for a reason, right? Ashkenazis had to get us here. Mizrahis got tapped in. Ethiopians got tapped in. It's time for new leadership, for a new face of Israel, for a new future that leads with brown and black ideology and lifestyle. Whether you find that racist or offensive, go fuck yourself. I love you. But we can't win this war. We can't win this ideology. We can't fix the Middle East by harkering back to Europe and democracy. It will not work. It will not work. It needs to be just like Coptic Kabbalah said, through power, through aggression, and through fine, beautiful, brown, charismatic Middle Easternism. That's what it is. There's no if, and, or buts around it. That's just how it needs to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you all. Thanks, everybody, for calling in. I really, really appreciate everybody for joining the show. I really appreciate for everybody hanging out here. This was our biggest live stream ever. I can't even imagine how many people were here throughout the entire thing. We are going now to the Patreon show. The Patreon show is the after show that happens for the exclusive Patreon members who pay $10 a month. If you join Patreon for $10 a month, you get a bonus live stream after every single live stream. I will be fair. I've only been streaming about once a month now, but you get a bonus, more intimate live stream right after. So if you want to join, I recommend you join Patreon at $10 a month. And then you can link your Patreon and your Discord together. And right after this stream, literally immediately after, I'm going straight there and having a private live stream. It's not recorded, so everything's a little bit more low-key, and we can have fun and interesting conversations. You guys get a personal insight into my life. You also get access to a clat chat, like a text group, which is also really fun. I appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. God rest the souls. Thank you all for 600 fucking thousand goddamn subscribers. That's fucking unbelievable. We've already gained, I think, another 200 since the stream started. We're at 100. 600,000, 147. That's fucking nuts. That's bananas. Could never imagine to be here, guys. I'll see you at 1 million. No, we'll do another stream before then for sure. Okay, I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, Klats. And I can't do the outro because the outro is gone, so I'll see you.